This is a copper cycle experiment that was performed at Gwinnett, Georgia College in Lawrenceville, Georgia. The objective of this experiment was to take 0.2 grams of solid copper in the form of foil, put it through a series of chemical reactions, and in theory, gain 100% recovery. This theory of 100% recovery comes from the law of conservation of mass. This states that matter is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. For our first reaction, we took our solid copper and weighed out 0.202 grams and then mixed it with 3 milliliters of 6 molar nitric acid. This gave us a light blue-green solution and a brown gas. The brown gas was nitrogen dioxide, and the dark blue liquid was copper 2 nitrate. For our second reaction, we allowed our copper 2 nitrate solution to cool, moved it to a 100 milliliter beaker, and added 20 milliliters of distilled water to dilute the solution. We then added 2.5 milliliters of 6 molar sodium hydroxide. This gave us a light blue solution with a dark blue precipitate. The dark blue precipitate being copper 2 hydroxide, the light blue solution being sodium nitrate. We then heated this solution. From the previous reaction, we took a Bunsen burner, a ring stand, wire gauze, and our beaker, and we heated it for several minutes. This created a dark brown and black substance, a precipitate, and a clear liquid. The clear liquid happened to be water. The brown solid, or precipitate, happened to be copper oxide. We then took a pipette and removed as much of this clear liquid as we could without removing our precipitate copper oxide. For our fourth reaction, we then added 2 milliliters of hydrochloric acid to our copper oxide precipitate. We then stirred, and what it gave us was a light blue solution similar to the one from 2 reactions previous. This solution happened to be copper chloride and water. For our fifth reaction, we added 0.075 grams of aluminum foil to our solution from the previous reaction. This then created bubbles and formed a copper precipitate. The bubbles happened to be hydrogen gas, and the solution that the precipitate happened to be in was aluminum chloride. To find our copper yield, we then set up a Buchner funnel with a filter paper that was previously weighed to be 0.740 grams. We ran this apparatus for several minutes and dried our copper with acetone. We then removed the filter paper with the copper on it, as seen here, and put it on a watch glass. This watch glass was then marked with a Sharpie for identification purposes, placed in an oven for approximately 10 minutes, removed, and then weighed. The new weight was 0.883 grams of the filter paper and the copper. From this information, we found that we had a 70.8% recovery. This came from our measured amounts, as shown in the slideshow. And for our percent recovery, we took our amount recovered, which was 0.143 grams of copper, and we divided that by our initial amount, multiplied it by 100, and that will give us 70.8%. Now, the only problem with this is 70.8% is as I learned from my professor, a very high yield, and his hypothesis was that it was not a dry filter paper, that we did not keep it in the oven long enough. And I have to agree with him, but the only way he would know would be to repeat this experiment, so we're just assuming for now. Though I would like it to be a 70.8% recovery. As for the pictures, they came from these websites. I did not have a camera at the time of the experiment.